Never miss an episode of the Final Furlong podcast. Subscribe now on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And now, here's your host, Emmet Kennedy.
Welcome to the weekend preview. We've got Andy Newton and George Gorman as we preview the best bets for Saturday at glorious Goodwood. It has been an insane Goodwood so far, but if you heeded the advice of Paige Fuller in our Race IQ special and took on Field of Gold, smash the like button. I'm not asking you to tell us you back to Kirat, because I don't think any of us would believe you if you told us that. But if you took on Field of Gold, smash that like button and join us. And if you've been enjoying the show, smash the like button as well for the Final Furlong podcast. The first race on Saturday at Goodwood is the Coral Gloria Stakes. It's the Group 3, won last year by Al-Azi. He's got a £3 penalty this year, and he's now an 8-year-old, but he is still in pretty decent form. And he ran a good race in the Hardwick Stakes behind Rebel's Romance last time out. Arabian Crown has been smashed up in the betting. 9-2 is the price for him. About William Buick and Charlie Appleby. Candleford was a winner after disappointing in the Hardwick Stakes the time before. He's a 5-1 shot. He won at Beverley. Maidan 11-2. Mount Atlas and Ambiente Friendly trying to bounce back to form, an 8-1 shot. Andy Newton, who do you like?
Well, it's not a great renewal, is it? And, you know, it will all come down to sort of last year's winner, Lassie, 8-year-old now, looking to be the first back-to-back winner since the 80s, I think. So that's the thing against it. And it's well, Google, mate, Google. But yeah, it's rated 114, so it's the top rated in the field. It has to give, £3 away to the others. Is it as strong as last year's renewal? Probably not. So, you know, Haggard's team's still going great guns. We know it loves the course. It's acted well on the ground before. I think, obviously Thursday we're recording this and it's actually bucketed down there, didn't it? And the ground turned to heavy or something. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But I think I did have a little look at the weather. And I think it's not too bad tomorrow and sort of Saturday. So it might dry out a bit, but I think, soft ground horses. But it's trying to find something to take it on with, isn't there? I mean, Haggis has got another one in there at Candleford with Tom Marquandon, another 7-year-old, but, listed sort of class has been sort of where it's been winning mainly. It's up against a Group 3. Maidan, another course winner, Ryan Moore will attract the eye. Christopher Camp going all right. But I don't know, that's like 0 from 7 at the moment. And you're just sort of banking on the fact that back to Goodwood might sort of, So I'm coming down on one you said, really, that Arabian Crown. I mean, the Godolphin boys have had a good record in this. I think they won 2 maybe of the last 4, I think, and Appleby run it with, actually, Rebel's Romance, another horse you just mentioned, and it wasn't too bad a run, I think, at Newmarket last time. And I think once it was beaten in that Group 2, James Doyle sort of gave it quite a sort of coasty ride home, protecting it a little bit. That was the first run after being gelded. It's still only had 8 runs. Look, it's won 4 of those as well, and sure to improve for that last run, which was sort of came after, I said, after being gelded. It was behind El Assi at Sandown back in April, but I think it will do well. Getting the £3. I think that looks the call. It's just as you said it last week. It's just annoying with these small flipping fields all the time. 7 runners, so. Could do with one more, but I think I'll take a punt on Arabian Crown.
Okay, I have a feeling, George, you're going to be going that way as well, as third win in this race in the last 5 years for the boys in blue.
Yeah, no, exactly. It was a bigger price when I went for it earlier, but it's just I was looking at Al-Azi and he does have some form on soft ground. He won a novice at 8-11 on soft ground. Balls with everyone against basically less experienced rivals, and he was an unlucky loser probably in last year's Cumberland Lodge when given a bit too much to do. That was on soft ground. The only time he's experienced, other than that, everything's on good to soft. This is the only times he's met extremes. The only other time he was beaten at 5-6 in the St Simon Stakes on heavy ground on his final run last season. Just the way it's raining here at the moment, like we say, Thursday evening, it could well still be heavy on the day, and it was just enough at his price to take him on. Arabian Crown, maybe you could be of the opinion he requires some forgiving because he's been a little below his best since returning from a year off. But he's third in the Princess of Wales Estates last time, was a step back in the right direction. That was his first run since being gelded. And obviously the second Wimbledon Hawkeye came within a nose of beating Merchant in the Gordon Stakes on his next start, which was today as we're recording. His 3 runs this year have come on good, and good to firm, while the pick of his form was probably winning the Zetland on soft ground and the Bet365 Classic trial on good to soft. He also won a Sandown Maiden on soft. Like, he has a little to find on rate. You could see him bounce back to sort of his best before he had all that time off. And obviously the gelding operation won't hurt either.
Well, it would have hurt.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be feeling that one now that he's a member of the Unsullied. I think he's very interesting. Do we think that Ambiente Friendly is just gone?
Yeah,
I don't think he'll stay in that ground. I don't think he'll get a mile 4 in that ground.
That's what I was worried about.
That's another one that's been gelded, is it, since its last run. So, you know, if you do fancy it, it's something to cling on there. But it's a lot of, you know, what is it now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 runs without a win after that Derby second.
Yeah,
so,
but to be fair, he beat Illinois. He's second to City of Troy. He's second to Los Angeles. Like, the form is there. Even the 5-length defeat by Sosi when he finishes last in the Pre-Neal is good. It's the ground. If that ground stays, it was heavy ground today. If it's like that again, then I would say he'd be at risk for sure. He's interesting. I would keep an eye on him. That form is too good. He's the second highest rated on BHA figures. He's the highest on RPRs. Time form have just kind of thrown him to one side. Like, now forget about him. I think he's very, very interesting at 8-1. But I was with you guys. I was with Arabian Crown as well. Second run after a gelding up. Thanks to Proform, who are by far one of the absolute best when it comes to racing form and analysis and performance figures. They're just fantastic. I highly recommend Proform Racing. And courtesy of them, Charlie Appleby, over course and distance at Goodwood, 23.53% strike rate. 8 winners from 34 runners. And this is obviously a race that he and Said Ben Sarur have taken in the last couple of years as well. So I think Arabian Crown will bounce back. Second run after a gelding up is an angle I quite like. And obviously William Buick, Peter Michael's favourite jockey, is on board. To the second race at Goodwood, the 155 over a mile 6. It's the Coral Summer Handicap. It's a Class 2. And French Duke bids for his second win at the meeting. Watnan off the board with a win today at Glorious Goodwood. James Doyle, of course, riding that winner. Roger Varian has had a winner at the meeting as well, and some of his horses have been running quite well. 9-2 about that one. Joseph Bryan's horse, Aeronautic, with Colin Keane booked to ride as a 13-2 shot. Sam Hawkins, 13-2. Tom Marquand and William Haggis. By the way, can you imagine, if you think Kieran Schumark was relieved to see Field of Gold beaten, imagine how relieved Colin Keane was. Imagine the pasting he would have gotten if he'd been on Field of Gold and he got turned over. I'd say he was thanking the BHA stewards for that whip rule ban. Sam Hawkins, Tom Marquand, William Haggis, 13-2. Master Builder, who did us a big favour on the podcast last year, he landed as the TriCast when he won at Haydock, and he's only £6 higher than that winning mark a year ago. And Devin Minussier obviously loves winners at Goodwood, and he's had a winner, and he's had horses run well at the meeting too. William Buick back on board, 17-2. About him and our old friend Dancing in Paris is in this race too. Some familiar faces, Andy Newton. Who are you with?
Yeah, Dancing in Paris. That was the forfeit bet, wasn't it? That got us over the line.
I forgot. George Gorman's favourite horse.
Yeah. Second in the plate, wasn't it? With their one out the back of the telly or whatever it was. Manxman, yeah. But I'm sure he'll have revenge at some point. But up £3 from now, I think it's on a career high, and back on the turf. So I don't know that one now. With the hike in the ratings. And you mentioned Master Builder. That is definitely one for the shortlist, I think. He's had a winner this week as well, hasn't he? Old David Minussier. I think, did he have a winner at Goodwood earlier in the week? So that's a bit of a plus. It's fourth to that French Master. And I just think it's gone well fresh before. So the 70 days is a bit of a plus. Buick's on another one for Buick going on here. But it is difficult to get away from French Duke. I mean, 8th at Royal Ascot in the Duke of Edinburgh handicap, dropped £1 from that. That was over a mile and a half. Looked to be staying on all right. So the extra, the trip here will be fine. That was the first one after being gelded, so we can expect some improvement. It's a course winner as well. I think its only win has come here at Goodwood. Hasn't won on soft, but it's run okay. A couple of races ago at the end of last season at Ascot. Favourites have quite a good record on this as well, 7 of the last 22. And I know it's a bit boring because it's the favourite, but there just looks to be quite a lot going for it here. 3 of the last 4 have been aged 4-year-olds as well, which, French Duke ticks that box as well with a fair few others. So, yeah, look, I'm not quite Duke, Master Builder. You never know, forecast. I mean, the other one that catches the eye is obviously Ryan rides that Dermot World one. Duraji, I think he was beaten quite a long way last time over 2 miles. So the slight drop back in trip to 1.6 will probably suit that one. And that's got some form behind Kyprios if you go back in it. So there is some stuff to go on there. And, Dermot World doesn't send many over to Goodwood, especially when Galway's running side by side. So that is of interest as well. But French Duke, Master Builder for me, mate.
Okay, I'm very interested in both of those horses as well. I have a slight interest in Artistic Star too. George, for you?
I've got a couple here. First will come as no surprise. I napped him a couple of weeks ago when he was withdrawn on good to firm for inappropriate ground. Wonder Legend. He was miles ahead of his mark when he was last seen in the handicap company 2 starts ago. Like want to see light on his first attempt at 2 miles. That form hasn't stacked up to a whole lot, but previously he beat Plage de Havre by 2 3/4 lengths at Wolverhampton over this trip. That horse ran out of an impressive winner of the Old Newton Cup recently. I can't understand the price. He's up £8 for that impressive victory over 2 mile. And all he's done to hurt his chances is pull up in a very strongly run Ascot Gold Cup when he was the second lowest rated horse in the race. He's still unexposed on the turf. He's just got 4 turf starts to his name, and the 1 win came on soft ground in a Doncaster handicap. So I think he's got to be one of mine in this. And the other one, I can see this going off much shorter. And actually, I think Wonder Legend was well backed before he was non-running last time as well. But Subsequent was extremely progressive last season.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. He went from winning a novice into handicap company, where he went 2 from 4 in a handicap before he took a listed event at Ascot from Alonsi, who became a listed winner in her own right last month and runs in the Lillie Langtry, which we'll be talking about in a minute. His 3 100 plus RPRs have come on soft, and good soft. The 2 on soft were his listed win at Ascot and a Newmarket handicap win. He's up £9 since last seen in a handicap company, courtesy of the listed win. But if you can put a tame reappearance effort behind him, which came on good to firm ground, he could progress back on a softer surface. And like from 3 to 4, £9 isn't as big a jump as you'd think, like given like natural progression. Like I think he's certainly better than what is he, 16 to 1?
Yep.
Yeah. I think both of these horses have the potential to go off a hell of a lot shorter. So I would be backing them as early as possible, all the extra places.
Yeah, I completely agree. The mark of 104 is high, but David Probert's riding well, obviously. Andrew Balding continues to be in good form. I think the form with Phelan reads pretty well in the context of this race. More importantly, that form with Alonzi. I really like him. He's also pro form top rated for this race as well, by the way. There is a negative statistic about him, and that is...
Go on.
Jockey form at course and distance. 2 wins from 28 rides. But David Probert's going to put that right with a 3rd win and a 29th ride over course and distance. Go on, Subsequent. I think he's very, very interesting for this.
It's probably worth
David Probert's normally riding the 2nd string as well.
Yeah.
So you got to bear that in mind into that statistic.
Yeah, I'm seeing 10 to 1 with William Hill, but there is bigger available. And
oh yeah, I've seen the 16s is only in one place.
yeah, but I think that's 16 to 1. I think that 16 to 1 is very, very fair. If you can get it, even the 10 to 1 is fair. I'm more than happy with that. Okay, final selection. Andy Newton.
Yeah, all I was going to say is it's probably worth mentioning in that previous race we talked about that Mount Atlas goes, and that was 5th, wasn't it, in that Duke of Edinburgh Stakes that French Duke was 8th in as well. So obviously if Mount Atlas does okay in the previous race, that's going to be a bit of a, shot in the arm boost of form. And also that Nakib was 3rd in that Royal Ascot race, and that's come out and ran okay on Tuesday, didn't it? It was a close 2nd in to that West Ridge. So there's bits and pieces to go on there to sort of back up the French Duke. French Duke Master Builder, mate. is the two I'm going to come down on.
Okay. If French Duke stays, he's going to go very, very close. But it's the soft ground angle for Subsequent for me and for George. We're both with Subsequent. Who's your second horse, George?
Wonder Legend, and I probably would put them in that order just about only because Wonder Legend's drawn one, and if the rail and heavy ground around Goodwood, it could be an issue.
George, you know, sometimes I come in and do the old stat kiboshes.
Yeah, you're going to tell me. He's got
no chances. Andy, you idiot with your stats. How many winners from stall 1 in the last 19?
Let's go. Is it 0?
Fortunately, it's 0. We can look at that two ways. You could say we're going to do one, or there's some kind of reason for it. I don't know.
I can give you a counter.
Especially heavy ground there, you don't want to get stuck on that rail. He'll have to get out, but he's got a mile 6 to do it.
I can give you a counter. The expected value from stall 1 is 0.83. The highest performing stall, according to the good folks at Proform, just confirming this because my brain's working very slowly today. Gala Shields, who comes out of stall 4, 1.66. So 2 is 1.78, 3 is 1.07, 4 is 1.66, and yet 1 is 0.83. I don't understand that. So
it's because on around that top bend at Goodwood, it cambers down towards you. So if you're on the rail, if anything goes on in front of you, left of you, it comes back on you because everything comes down the camber and slams you into the rail. I think the first time I ever rode there, I decided to go around the rail, and I ended up in a steward's inquiry with actually amateur flat jockey Nico de Boinville.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. If anything gets tired or anything, they hang down and you're on the rail and you got nowhere to go.
Well, that
it's sort of like a NASCAR turn.
The Watnan horse that James Doyle rode today, where he was second on the rail after 2 furlongs, then goes 7 wide and wins anyway, carrying top weight. If he just pulls off something like that on that horse, then he's not really going to care. For the Watnan horse anyway. But Subsequent for me would have a massive mark of respect, though, for the Watnan horse as well. Okay, the 2:30 is the Qatar Lillie Langtry Stakes. Term of Endearment is going to be very, very well fancied for this race. As the website that I'm using, can you guess which website I'm using? Not Proform. Proform is great. What website am I using for the odds? It's refusing to load. I don't know what it's doing. Do you have prices there, Andy Newton?
Yeah, what do you want? Who do you need?
Tell us who the market leaders are.
We've got Goody Two Shoes, 5-2, Royal Entry 4-1, Term of Endearment, last year's winner, 4-1, Sueno 11-2, and yeah, it's 8-1 bar that really. Wadar is 8s, Serenity Prayer 10s, Danielle 12s.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. I don't know why I didn't just use the At the Races website. It would have been quicker, and it's working perfectly. Why is that other website not working that I pay for every single month? Dear me. Oh, dear me. I don't know, man. It's sometimes you just smile and nod. All right, is Term of Endearment going to go back-to-back in this race, George Gorman?
Not for me. I didn't really enjoy how keen. He did plenty wrong the last day, and there wasn't too much reason for him to be doing it at his age. And I worry if he's keen again on this ground, it could be curtains for his chances. Has
she said she identifies as a male?
Sorry, she. It's a fillies race as well, so I should have
respect her pronouns, George.
Yeah. So I've landed on one of the 3-year-olds, which I'm sure Andy's going to tell me of 0 from 100 million.
No, 3-year-olds are fine, George. You just don't want an older one.
Okay. I landed on Wadar. It was my best attempt. It's less exposed than the majority of these, other than probably Serenity Prayer. Comes out joint second best at the weights, which is behind Serenity Prayer and Term of Endearment, I think. I think Term of Endearment's level with her on the weights anyway. She's 2 from 4 in her career. Her defeats came when slowly away at Newmarket in a listed event on her second start. And when she ran too keen on the all-weather on her only all-weather start. 2 wins have come on soft ground, including last time when looking far more professional and handled the step up to a mile 2 like she'd stay further still. There's not a whole lot in the breeding because the dam didn't. I think the dam ran once in a match race with Mishriff or something. I think I saw earlier. And I don't think there's any siblings of any note, but she's postponed out. Certainly not a pedigree lacking stamina. So I'll be with Wardour here at 8-1.
I really liked that performance against Anna Swan the other day. I backed Anna Swan, so I was kind of punching the walls with frustration that Wardour came through with such an improved effort. But it was very, very likeable, and I don't see any reason why she wouldn't stay. Certainly the way she hit the line so strongly. I just can't help but think the term of endearment was stretched by the 2 miles and will get her first win since joining the Haggis team. Really good mare for Henry de Bromhead. A good performer in this race last year. The run with Scenic is the thing that just tells you she's going to win this race, Andy.
It does, and it's there sort of for everyone to see. Haggis camp going all right again as well, and like you say, this race would have been a target 100%. George asked about the age stat, and look, they're going back to 2003 when this race was first run. We've only had one horse older than 5 win it, and so we've got 2 6-year-olds here, and they're both at the top of the market. Goody Two Shoes and that term of endearment. So there's an age stat there if you don't like those two. Can you sort of go against term of endearment? I don't know. I mean, the worry would be this is now its 4th run for Haggis after coming over from de Bromhead, and it still hasn't got its head in front for their yard. And maybe they're still trying to find out bits and bobs about it. I don't know, but I think it ran in a race last time or the time before that won before or come second or so. I mean, they're pitching it in races they know it is performed in, so that would be the little worry with it. And look, one that will like the ground is that Gosden horse, Danielle. I can see that getting shorter. Hasn't run for a while, and it was second to that as Strange back in end of last season at Donny. It was a bit of a shock. I think it was sent off favourite. It might be favourite for that. I can't remember now. Yeah, it was sent off favourite, just about 7-4. And we know, Strange has come out and franked that form. Definitely like the soft ground. Gosden's won 3 of the last 9 of this as well. So, it's rated 105, and that is, is pretty much what's second top rated apart from term of endearment. And the other one of interest is that people are going to sort of draw their eye to, has got to be Ryan's horse, Ryan Moore, riding for Andrew Balding, Serenity Prayer, bombed out, ran, a bit of a shocker there really, but it's all plugged on. People were saying, it got tired, and it probably did a little bit, but look, it's only had 3 runs. It gets the 3-year-old allowance, and on the adjusted, it's rated 100. On the adjusted, it's getting £10 on the big ones at the top of the market, and then that puts it, well clear. It's just, will it stay? Will it like the ground? Don't think it's ever run on anything as soft as this. All been on good to firm and good. So out to Barwee, bit of hope there, and will it stay the extra trip? So at 10, 12 to 1, it's probably worth having a little find out at that sort of price. And Danielle's a similar price as well. We know that will like the ground. So, and Gosden's got a good record in it, as you say. So quite happy to play that too.
Definitely wouldn't argue with you over a 12 to 1 shot. To the feature race of the day, Lucy Russell Hughes does the draw. Hats off, Lucy Russell Hughes. Great work as always. I don't know why we have to wait. Can't they do the draw quicker? It's like it's just overcomplicating things, but Lucy did a great job with it. That's the way they want to do it. Just delays things a little bit. But well done, Lucy. Friend of the show, and she'll be back on the podcast very, very soon, and she'll be with us again on Racing Live on TalkSport 2 as well very soon too. El Monjed is top of the betting, having won at York a week ago. It's a very, very quick turnaround, but it was interesting that William Haggis very quickly ruled out the favourite for this race, although he may have just realised he's in the 90s. He's not going to get into this race. Hammer the Hammer has joined him at the top of the betting. 6 to 1, joint favourite with some firms, as big as 15 to 2 with others. Get It goes for big handicap treble. Win this race again, having just won at Ascot, doing Peter Michael a huge favour for the podcast as well. Pure Sangue is a 9 to 1 shot with William Buick on board, and Completely Random has been fancied by quite a few people. He's an 11 to 1 shot. Who is your Completely Random selection, George Gorman?
It's the same. It's, if you watch the previous podcast we did on this, it's going to be the same one because I looked over it, and just the same horse kept smacking me in the face. It's Apollo 1. He's run well here twice. 2 visits to Goodwood, 2 seconds in this race. He's £3 better off with last year's winner, £10 including the jockey's claim for a half-length defeat. He's run reasonably since, especially when he got beaten nose by American Affair in the Portland last September, conceding £11. Now Group 1 winning sprinter. And when taking the Bengoff Stakes on his final run of last season on soft ground, crucially. This term, he ran well in the Wokingham after a very low-key return. He's beaten 3.5 lengths by Get It on that occasion. There's now £8, 15 including the jockey's claim, better off here. Whilst he was 5th last time, he was only beaten 2.5 lengths. And I think a run at listed level was surely to just go, look, you can run as well as you like and you're not going to go up in the handicap. Like, get his confidence up a bit without fear of damaging his mark. And try as I might, I couldn't find anything else to go with it. Because I normally like to take 2 in a race like this. And there's so many bang out of form horses. I thought maybe Strike Red ran well in this last year and is off a similar mark, but has no soft ground form. Get It has no soft ground form. But I think Get It's been withdrawn on soft and heavy ground on basis of the ground. And I think the only time he ran on soft, he got absolutely stuffed. So maybe Strike Red, but I think I'd rather just take 1 in this. I think Apollo 1's way too big. And Alice Bond is a improving jockey at £7 as well. I think she won the Jersey Derby. Had a double over there. I don't know how much experience she has in races like this, but look, the horse has finished 2nd in the last 2. He knows his way around. And I'll just take the £7 and say thank you very much.
Andy Newton, who will you be saying thank you very much for?
No, I agree. I think Apollo 1 is the place pot, sort of each way top 4 banker. Will it win? I don't know, but I agree. I mean, it's been 2nd the last twice. It was rated 102, 1 and 100 the last couple of times. So it's sort of, it is higher than that with 107. But Alice Bond's claim, like George said, had a double at the weekend. I think it was on Sunday in Jersey. She's had, I think, 8 winners from 132 rides. So not as experienced as there's a lot in here, but getting there and knows where the winning line is. So they booked her for a reason. So that's definitely draw 28's okay. Bearing in mind there's 28 runners here. I mean, higher draws have sort of been favourable here. We've had, I think, 7 of the last 8 have been drawn 15 or higher though. So that's worth sort of bearing in mind. There is quite a massive age stat though, which that's the niggle about will it win. Realistically, you want something that's 6 or younger here. 21 of the last 22, so that's almost all of them. The last 22 years have been 6 or under. And there's a few 7-year-olds we've mentioned there, Apollo 1 being one of them, and Strike Red, and last year's winner Get It, and we've also got Comanche Falls, who's won it twice in here as well. So you can knock a few out on those sort of stats, but we've also got Corker in here, which I put up last week at York, and it was sort of going okay, and then it got a bit sandwiched when it was making the challenge. Don't think it would have won, but that might be of interest from draw 17. Jack Nicholls takes off 7 again. As I said last week, I think the only niggle with him is all wins have been over 5 or 5.5. So 6 furlongs is a little bit tricky. And again, another one that, a bit like the last race with Ryan riding, he's dropped up on the Hannon horse. That's Cersei here. So draw 23 is fine. Looks a bit of an improver. Only a 4-year-old. Won 3 of its last 4. So it's only £6 from its last one, but it has won on soft as well in the past as well. So I don't think Hannon Junior has never won this, but I think Hannon Senior's won it a couple of times. So he'll be wanting to get on the score sheet. Yeah. So Cersei, Corker, only because I had it last week and I've got to try and stick with it. And I think Polo 1 is a banker to get, to hit the frame.
Given the fact that we keep seeing course form just come back and back and back and back, and the fact that my horse has been taken out of the race as well, the Richard Fahey horse is gone. So that was great. All that work. Yay, fantastic. At a massive price, Comanche Falls. But I do not have a strong opinion about this race. And I'm not going to tell you that I do. And I'm not going to just go, this. listen to the two lads. I put the work in for this race. There's 10 horses I fancy for it. And if I fancy 10 horses for a race, then I'm not having a bet on it. But if I was to have a bet, it would be something very, very small in Comanche Falls, and maybe for the perspective of some sort of elaborate multiple, but he needs to bounce back, and you're basically needing him to bounce back for Goodwood. It might spark some life in him. It's a very random race. Final selections, George Gorman. Apollo 1 and...
No, just Apollo 1.
Just Apollo 1. Yeah. Just straight on Apollo 1. That's it. Andy?
Cersei, Apollo 1, Corker.
Okay.
There we go. Tricast.
Corker was on my list too, but literally 10 horses were on the list. And the number one horse, Strong Warrior, not declared. So that's the end of that. 3:45, the Whispering Angel Handicap. We'll wrap it up with this. Any strong opinions? We got Yamo B there. He's got Classic Form 9-2, and Mud Beer for Jonathan Eggleston, Jim Crowley 13-2. Consolidation, James Doyle, Rafe Beckett 15-2. El Matador I thought was interesting, 8-1. Any thoughts, Andy Newton?
It's a tough one to win the ITV races on Saturday. A bit of a pin job, and I was quite impressed with that Headmaster, the Haggis horse that won at Haydock only a week or so ago, a couple of weeks ago actually. By the time this race comes around, and gets in here with a low weight, only had 3 runs, more to come. So that stall 6 is okay here because there is a bit of a 10 of the last 13 have been drawn 7 or lower, so that might help knock a few out. And actually, all of the last 8 I think have been drawn just 3 to 9. So that whittles them down quite a lot. So if you are wanting to have a little bit of a play in here, that's a bit of an angle. But yeah, and the site was the only other one I sort of at a price that just sort of leapt out. I mean, look, that ran in the what did it run in? It ran the Gym Crack, didn't it? A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Into what?
Last season. Shadow of Light.
Yeah, and it's got some great form there. And that run last time at Chester was a little sign. That was its second run back after being gelded. Only beating a length at Chester. I know it was 5th, but there was a little sign there might be something there. And the ground's a bit of an unknown. It's never run on anything, softer than good. But actually beat the potential favourite that Yar Mo B there on debut. So if it can sort of replicate that, then 22-1 after a good run last time. And a sight and Headmaster, a bit tentative. But there's an interesting draw stat, so if you want to go down that road for people.
Yeah, I've got two statistics. I've got 2. My God, my brain is completely and utterly fried today. I've got 2 horses for this race. Andesite is absolutely one of them. You almost don't see him with the way the camera angle worked, but he flashed home real fast. He's finally sparked into life. I'm hoping 3rd run off a gelding up. Hey, maybe next time we'll be saying, maybe 4th run off a gelding up. I'm hoping 3rd run off a gelding up is going to work for him. I really like him, and he's a big price. He's 18-1. But I can't quite understand why Halasan is 28-1, and he's the main pick. He's got some very good form in his name. He wasn't even beaten that far by Big Mojo at Ascot in the Commonwealth Cup trial earlier in the season. Yeah, he's been a little bit disappointing since then, but he's down to a mark of 96. It's William Buick and Charlie Appleby at Glorious Goodwood with a 28-1 shot. I'll take Halasan and Andesite, my 2 to shoot the lights out in the final ITV race of Glorious Goodwood 2025. George Gorman for you?
Yeah, I did think it might be a bit soon in Halasan's apparent decline to be sending off 28s. Well, there's 50s available in places. I did think it might be a bit soon, but he's not the one I land on. I land on Mudbeer again in the dreaded stall 1. Well, on debut, once a penny dropped, and that was on soft ground. So, the fact that he hit the line that day proves he sort of handles it, even though he didn't win that day. Also, given his half-brother is Mostadaf, who was twice a listed winner on soft ground, and his half-sister, Nazif, was a Sun Chariot Stakes winner on heavy and a Falmouth winner on soft. So for a horse with his pedigree and potential, I think a £2 rise for winning on good to firm on handicap debut could well prove to be lenient back on a softer surface. If there was one at a bigger price, perhaps Shout for Simon Egg Crisford. No, it just came. I just think he wasn't ready for the Britannia. Basically, it was all a bit too much. But previously, I think he was beaten a length and a quarter by Power Fizz in May at Ascot. Back over 7 over this trip. He's down a pound since then. He's waited to run well at the very least, but has no soft ground form. Which, like I say, it might be the order of the day. Is just not back anything. Doesn't have soft somewhere in his form. But it'd be Mudbeer would be my main selection.
Okay, let's get the best bets for Saturday at Glorious Goodwood. Is it going to be a Glorious Goodwood for us? We've been in good form. We've been banging in the winners left, right and centre. Are we going to be getting winners on Saturday, though? Andy Newton, your best bets for Saturday?
I think I'm going to come down on French Duke in the 155, the Goodwood, the summer handicap. Like I say, based on that Duke of Edinburgh handicap, the Royal Ascot form. If it can get home, then I think it could be dangerous of a pound lower. Master Builder in that race a little each way. And I think even though it falls down on the age stat in the Stewards, I think Apollo 1 in some kind of like place bet each way just to hit the top 4, 5, whatever, it's got to be the sort of nappy MB as well. It's got to be up there. Apollo 1.
I'm liking
got to be there.
We know George really likes Apollo 1. I'm going to go for Term of Endearment as my nap of the day. I'm going to include Hallasan in some sort of elaborate, probably a patent. It's probably going to be Term of Endearment, Hallasan at 28-1. If we can get the 50s, fantastic, even better. And I'll include Arabian Crown. That 4-1 seems very, very fair. And if it is proper soft ground, that's going to stretch out Ambiente Friendly a little bit too much. But I wouldn't be completely giving up on him just yet. So hopefully Arabian Crown to kick us off. Land a big old touch, then hopefully. And we'll try and round it off with a Term of Endearment. And then we'll try and round it off with another Godolphin winner. Come on, Charlie. Come on, William. Hallasan, 28-1. That's the price I can get. But if you can get 50s, even better. George Gorman, how is Apollo 1 the nap?
It's not the nap. If I was going to give a 5 places nap, that would probably be it. But I'm not going to do that. It's a big field handicap. Anything can happen. The nap is going to be subsequent in the mile 6 handicap, and the next best is going to be Mudbeer in the 7 furlong handicap. But yeah, I echo what Andy said just there. Like, yeah, 3, 4, 5 places. Apollo 1 is probably a pretty solid bet, but I want a nap with an extremely good chance of winning. Would be what I'd say. We're not here to farm places as much as it's a good way to make money, but it's not what naps are about, I don't think.
It can be, but also trying to farm places at Glorious Goodwood is like, yay. Bring on the York Ebor meeting. Thanks very much. We are looking forward, though, to breaking down what happened at Glorious Goodwood, how glorious it was. Wonderful performance from Whirl. Looking forward to breaking that down. We'll do so with Laura Joy, Adam Mills back on the podcast. That's next week. We've got some interviews coming your way too, and some special features with some old friends of the show and some special guests. How can you make sure you see all of this? How can you make sure you support the show? Hit the subscribe button to us on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button to us on whichever podcast app it is you're listening to this episode, and make sure you like this episode on YouTube. If you haven't done so yet, smash the like button. The views to likes, you can do it. You can do it for us. Hit the like button. It's a massive help to us. We really appreciate your support of the Final Furlong podcast. It really does mean a lot to us. Andy Newton, what have you got coming up for us in trainer quotes and further afield?
Well, from the stables now, they've amalgamated the two. So from the stables and trainers quotes are there. Again, if you want that pound trial, I think the code was what was it called? Pound. Yeah, it was called Pound Trial for the promo code. So put that in and you get the money off. Yeah, sportscasting. There's sort of more in-depth trends on the Stewards Cup over on sportscasting as well. So you can delve into them as well. Hopefully, try and whittle down the runners, but it's a tricky one. But yeah,
excellent stuff. And George, you're back with us next week.
Indeed, I will be.
Looking forward to that. Looking forward to your company as well. Thank you for joining us on the Final Furlong podcast. We will talk to you again very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of Glorious Goodwood until Tuesday. It's the bank holiday weekend. Enjoy the bank holiday weekend. Kick back, relax. Hopefully there'll be lots of gravy splashing around the place that we can talk about on Tuesday's show. From Andy Newton, George Gorman, And me, Emmet Kennedy, enjoy your bank holiday weekend. We'll talk to you Tuesday. God bless.
Thanks for spending some time with us on the Final Furlong podcast. We're independent media, so if you like what we do, hit like, share, and subscribe. It's free, it's quick, and it genuinely helps. And if you enjoyed this episode, there's plenty more where that came from. Don't miss out. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all major platforms, and join us on the gravy train. The Final Furlong podcast, independent, unfiltered, and powered by you.